I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday morning to you all. Hope you all had a nice Wednesday. I did not. You know what's crazy? Someone actually sent me a message. Hey, nice picks tonight, which is because some of the picks I gave out on the show did well. Pirates and Nationals. Unfortunately, the ones that I actually bet did not. I went 0-3 in my 3 bets, so I follow up a nice 5-1 night and give a huge chunk, if not all of the earnings, right back. Wow.
Hey, you could have went 3-10 like me and gave all 4 black plus some.
Yeah,
could have been me.
Those gave all of his winnings back from yesterday too, from 9-3 to 3-9 or whatever.
3-10 minus 6.25 units.
Jeez.
It's been shitty this year.
It's just me. I mean, I'm just fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's been going well for me. But anyway, we got 12 games on the board, and then we have the NBA Finals starting. So we'll talk about that at the end for those that want to hang out. First up, Arizona on the road in Atlanta. Brandon Pfaadt, who looked really, let's say, disgraceful in his last start. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I assure you to look at the game logs. I really want you to take a look here. Brandon Pfaadt's last start. And if you remember, worst start in the history of baseball.
I was just going to say, I would argue, when's the last time Brandon Pfaadt looked good?
In Dodger Stadium here. It's a great start. This isn't a bad start in St. Louis. 6 base runners in the 6th
He didn't strike out one person in L.A.
Okay. I mean, against Dodgers here, pitched into the 7th inning, 0 runs.
Okay.
There's a bunch of good starts here. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. If you're wondering why, this must be a typo, right? No, he didn't record a single out. 8 earned runs and 6 hits without recording an out, which is just next level impressive. Not just anyone could do something like that. So you got Brandon Pfaadt coming off of what has to be the worst start of his career here, because it can't possibly get worse than that. Does he bounce back against the Braves? I mean, the Braves, these offensive numbers here aren't looking all that great. In the last 2 weeks, this is a bottom 10 lineup in baseball. They're 21st in WRC+. Plus. They're average against right-handed pitching. They haven't been hitting at home. What just happened?
Manny Machado just hit another parlay, a huge parlay for me. Let's go.
All right.
A lot of people tailed that too with his hits, runs, and RBIs.
Actually, I saw a bunch of people talking about the Manny Machado prop, so I know a lot of people did tell you about on it.
That was huge. Thank God.
The question comes: is Grant Holmes for real? Because I look at these, and Toast has been pretty big on Grant Holmes. He likes him, and it's hard to argue with these game logs. He's been solid in every single start. I personally am not a believer. I'm not a buyer, but like I said, it's hard to argue. He's pitching well every single time out, it seems like. He's got nice numbers against lefty bats. That comes in handy when you're pitching against Arizona. So it comes down, in my opinion, do you believe in this? Do you think this is bullshit here? I mean, and also, if you're looking for some clarity, Washington, what do they have? A bunch of lefties. Absolute gem. Boston, bunch of lefties. Absolute gem. San Diego's got some lefties in the lineup. Gem. Boston again. Lefties. Gem. Now we see the Braves, the Braves have lefties in their lineup. I can't believe I'm considering 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so only 5 lefties. I thought it was 6. It's 5 lefties in the Braves lineup. So not necessarily a lefty heavy lineup for the Braves, but I kind of like Atlanta at minus 140.
Yeah, you pretty much said it for me. Braves minus 135. I bet up the Braves minus 135. Obviously, I've been ice cold, guys. I'm not going to say that every time, but just know that I've been as cold as you could possibly get and then throw some ice on that. But I will say that I've been right about Grant Holmes. I do think that he's a very solid starter. He finished the year last year pretty damn well, and going into this year, he's been just fine. He did have a blow-up start on the road against this Arizona team, but at the same time, Atlanta got to Brandon Pfaadt for 9 hits and 3 runs over 6 innings. The last time that these two saw. So I do kind of put it a wash. I'm not a big Brandon Pfaadt guy. I've said that I would die on this hill for a while now. I know that he gets this really big name because they paid him and he looked good for one postseason. But the fact of the matter is he's a starting pitcher that got paid that has a 5 ERA for his career. And he's pretty much pitched to that his whole career. So in my estimation, we have a starting pitching advantage with Atlanta. And then as far as the bullpens are concerned, I think another huge advantage as well.
I don't know about that.
I bet this is soon. I do. There's no question in my mind. I bet this as soon as Justin Martinez came in the 8th inning today. So Martinez went. They're not going to have him. Everybody else in that Arizona bullpen can get got. Maybe Shelby Miller, maybe he can pitch well, but besides that, everybody else in that Arizona bullpen can get got. So the Braves had multiple chances today. Trust me, I was on Arizona money line. I think they had the bases loaded in the 8th and the 9th innings and just couldn't get the job done. I really like the Braves tomorrow.
Someone said there's only 9 batters in the lineup. That's over half lefties. Yeah, but when I say a lefty-heavy lineup, I'm referring to like 6 or more. But 5 is a lot. 5's a solid amount of lefties. But when I'm saying like lefty-heavy, like the Orioles, the Nationals, some of these teams are like lefty-heavy and have 6 or more. So usually if I'm talking about a lineup that is a crazy left, 5 is just like maybe slightly above average. So I think I agree. I think minus 140 is a little expensive, and I'm not going to lie. I don't really share your position on the bullpen. I don't like how the Braves used everybody. Now, everyone's going to be available, so it's not like they're going to be missing anybody, but they used everybody tonight in the loss. Iglesias, 20 pitches. Dylan Lee, 13 pitches. Hernandez, 22 pitches. Now, these guys were rested, so literally all these guys will be available to pitch again. I just don't necessarily.
I think Hernandez is hurt. I'm not positive.
Oh, he got hurt tonight?
I wouldn't count on him being in the game. I still don't care.
But
I've seen enough from this Arizona bullpen.
What Toast said down here is true, though. Justin Martinez, he was rested. He threw 37 tonight. He is not going. So we're not going to see Justin Martinez in this game. So this is who it comes down to. These arms. I don't think they're as bad as Toast is making him seem. Shelby Miller, Beeks, Graveman. I mean, it's not a good bullpen, but I've seen worse. What do you think, Jonesy?
Yeah, Arizona money line. I'm going to sit and wait and see what happens on this. But, Brandon Pfaadt has been absolutely terrible. You're going to get a very affordable price here with Atlanta. But Atlanta, Iglesias went, so there goes their closer. I mean, he threw 20. Is he going to come back out again for another day? Maybe. Yes. Okay, well, there it is. He is coming back out. Regardless, Arizona versus righties on the road has been really damn good. I know Grant Holmes has been solid, and Brandon Pfaadt's been an absolute turd. But I think after that 0, not even recording out, giving up 8 runs at home against Washington, I think he comes out pissed off and kind of ready here tomorrow. Arizona 3rd or 4th versus righties on the road the last 3 weeks, 134 WRC plus, 228 ISO, a 845 OPS. They've been smashing righties, so I'm going to go with Arizona here on the money line plus price. I'm going to wait and see what happens. I mean, if this skyrockets, I'll take it. But if it kind of hovers, I still will probably take it. I feel like they're just begging for Atlanta money. Have no problem giving you an affordable price with against Brandon Pfaadt, who absolutely nobody in the world wants to back right now.
I think people like Pfaadt.
I was going to say, I don't know why, but people love Brandon Pfaadt.
I think Pfaadt is more liked than Grant Holmes.
I don't know. People are going to look at what he's done and be like, oh, he got beat up by the Nationals. He gave up 5. He gave up 4.
He's never been good, and they still like him. It makes no sense. At what point has Brandon Pfaadt ever been good?
We're polling dead even right now, slightly towards Arizona. I think people like Pfaadt more than Grant Holmes. I kind of like what Ronnie B said in the comments. He says, unders the play. 9 is too many. I kind of think I wouldn't be surprised if both starting pitchers pitch well also. So it'll be Braves. I'm not going to play it. Minus 140 is too expensive. I need like a minus 128 maybe. That's a play on number. What's the best I can get with Atlanta right now? Toast City got a 135.
That's the best you can get on MGM. Everything else is 140.
I need less. I need to be under minus 130 to play it. But I'd play the Braves under minus 130. Let's move on. Royals on the road in St. Louis.
The makeup for the doubleheader are, I think.
Right. Okay, so the game that got postponed, and I really needed this bet too. I had the first 5 under in this one that I liked. I really could have used that win today. Obviously, it could have lost, but so this game got postponed. Tomorrow, there's one game at 7:45. I'm sorry, at 1:45, and then there's a second game at 7:45. So this is the first leg of a doubleheader. Obviously, you guys know what we said on this one. The first 5 under. The weather's about the same, so it would still be first 5 under. I probably won't bet the doubleheader 145, but me and Toast both like the first 5 under in this game today. So first 5 under a pass for me. Jonesy, anything, or should we move on?
Noah Cameron under 2.5 earned runs.
Oh yeah, you had that yesterday too. Yeah.
I was gonna say, depending on your book, your bet might be live. You just have to look. Some books go 48 or 24 hours. I mean, I'm just saying that it's possible your bet's still live, depending on your book.
Adam's Digest is in the comments saying, no way that game was played tonight. Tornadoes all day here. Are you talking about what happened today? Are you saying that they might not be played tomorrow either?
Yeah, Apollo was there. He was showing us all the texts that he was getting. They were like, stay away from trailers and mobile homes. You got to get into a basement or get the hell out of town. It was crazy.
All right. It'd be first 5 under a pass, but I don't like the doubleheader shit, so let's move on. Detroit on the road in Chicago to play the White Sox. This game's still going on?
Yeah, 5-4. Detroit's up.
Bottom of the 9th, 1 out. So it's about to end as we're talking. So what I want to do is I want to see what bullpen arms were used here. Casey Mize back in the rotation. That's right. Came back and pitched pretty well, if I recall, in his first start back. Right, Toast?
Correct.
So you like him to pitch well here. I'm going to check out the bullpen usage and stuff while you're talking.
Yeah, I think sorry. I won the bet. I guess he wasn't great. He only went 3 innings. He gave up 3 runs. So
really? I thought I remember seeing him pitch well.
Yeah, it wasn't as great as I thought. I won the bet, so that's why I said it in my head, because I played them first 5 thinking that he was pitch well.
Right.
But, Detroit had a whole bunch of runs in that game as well. It would be under first 5 under or pass for me. I didn't bet this game, but pretty much the same thing. Casey Mize has been pitching well. I have a hard time believing that he doesn't go more than 3 innings like his last start. He's been pretty decent on the road. I will give you that the Angels and Minnesotas weren't fantastic, but at the same time, I think those offenses are a lot better than what this White Sox team presents. And then as far as Sean Burke is concerned, he's been fantastic. A couple blow-up starts here and there, but at home against Milwaukee, Miami, and Texas has been pretty damn good. Now, obviously, this Detroit offense presents a lot bigger of a challenge, but at the same time, this offense has been, speaking from Detroit, has been very hit or miss lately. I know that they scored 6 or whatever it was, 5 tonight, like Trevor said, 1 the previous night, 13, 1, 0, 7. So, again, it's been kind of hit or miss. So I would assume that Sean Burke can pitch somewhat well enough here to keep this thing under 4.5 in the first 5. But again, I didn't play it.
The White Sox used some arms, but so did the Tigers. So I'm still plugging these numbers in. I'm going to bring them up on the screen when I'm done. Jonesy, do you have anything in this one?
Yeah, we got wind blown out to right field at 11.5 miles an hour tomorrow in this game. Mize been damn good. Minus 220 with no really bullpen. I mean, Vest and Canley went tonight. I don't know what
Vest is going to be available though. He had 2 days off. He'll be available if they need him.
All right. Yeah. Yep. I see that there. Regardless, it would be Detroit team total over. I think they're just going to get it going tomorrow, and not to mention you got the wind to help you out. I know it's a day game. Shit can be kind of weird, but you got 11.5, 12 miles an hour.
What's the number on that, Trev? I'm sorry. What's the price on that?
Let me pull this up.
It's going to be 4.5 something.
Yep, 4.5 minus 140. Ooh. Ugh. You know what? Just give me the minus 1.5 instead. Give me the minus 1. That's minus 130. God damn. Just give me the over 4.5.
You're not going to get a great price fading the White Sox.
I know, but minus 140 and 130. Not a huge fan, but I'll go over 4.5. You know, you get that all 9 innings. You got the bullpen was used up for the White Sox today. Not to mention they're not good no matter who gets sent out there, and then definite wind factor to help them out. So I'll back them to get that done.
All right, let me get this on the screen real quick. So you have Tigers team total over 4.5 at minus 140. That is expensive, but if the wind's blowing out, it does make sense. And here's why it makes sense. I'll bring it up on the screen now. So Trevor was saying. Okay. 1 sec.
This would be an example of a lefty-heavy lineup as well.
Okay. Yes, the Tigers are definitely a lefty-heavy lineup. Oh, you like the splits there? What I'm looking at is the Tigers are on the road here, which means we're going to get 9 full at-bats for the Tigers. They're going to bat in the top of the ninth, whether they're winning or losing, which helps, obviously, if you're on the team total or the run line, -1.5. Look at the White Sox bullpen. This guy, the Seal, whatever, 58 pitches. Obviously, he's not going to be out there. Jordan Leisure isn't going to be out there. Isert isn't going to be out there. So, I mean, this is already a terrible bullpen. Add on the fact that they're a little bit on the tax side. I mean, I like the White Sox to score. I mean, the Tigers to score runs as well. I don't really see the weather, though. Like, you're saying it's good weather for scoring runs. It looks pretty neutral to me.
If this is neutral.
Are you looking at yesterday's, dude?
Nope, I just double-checked. I'm looking at June 5th. Just because I was like, hold up.
Rate field.
Yeah,
I see
Detroit
14
Tigers
mile-an-hour
at White
winds.
Sox. Yeah.
What am I?
Winds blown.
I'm looking, dude. It says
FakeWeather.com.
6 miles an hour blowing out to right field. What are you guys talking about? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the same weather I've been looking at all year. Beautiful hitting conditions.
Dude, it is not beautiful hitting conditions.
I got it right here. 64 degrees at first pitch, 11.5 blowing out to right field.
It has one line here. Look at this. Watch when I click on right field. Up at the top, right here.
That's not even a real weather station.
It's Ballpark Pal. It's the one everyone uses. 7 miles an hour, bro. All three. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Where are you getting this shit?
The same place I've been getting my weather all year, which has been pretty damn
That
accurate
explains your
and nice.
bets, honestly.
No, hey, don't you dare! How dare you?
He said real weather.
Dude, I don't. I'm not seeing the wind, dude. So yeah, I agree. The Tigers -1.5 for pass. I don't think I'm gonna bet it.
I will say on RotoWire, it says that there's winds, a lot of wind as well. So
There we go, toast.
I'm not seeing that.
for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, it's gonna be 25-mile-an-hour winds. Trevor, I'm looking at the weather. No,
Can
it's
you
not.
imagine somebody watching this show for the first time and us arguing about the winds?
Adam's Digest is in the comments. Adam, will you please tell the people what the weather is tomorrow? Wait, I trust Adam's response.
Thank you, Adam.
Staring at it right
Thanks
here.
in advance. All right, the Phillies.
Adam's non-biased, thank God.
Adam's probably like, I don't want to shit on Trevor, dude.
Poor
No, he's
bastard.
probably not gonna respond and be like, toast was wrong on this one, or sauce was wrong on this one.
All right. Phillies on the road in Toronto. Luzardo against Chris Bassett. Now, I'm on record saying that the Blue Jays numbers against lefties recently are a little fraudulent. I did say that. I it's not that I don't believe it anymore. The last lefty they saw was Christopher Sanchez. They didn't really get to him. Here, you know what? Rather than me try to summarize it, why don't I just show you?
Bring it up.
Yeah, why don't I just show you what I'm looking at? So a lot of you might remember this because I talked about it a couple times. So if you go up to the Blue Jays versus lefties here, numbers look excellent. Last 30 days, this is the top 5 lineup in baseball against lefties. They're also the best home lineup in baseball the last 30 days, which is kind of crazy. It's what happens when you start opening the roof up in that fucking place. But here are the numbers against lefties. Top 5 lineup in the last 30 days, 4th at WRC+. Here was my counter to that, and I'm not trying to say the Blue Jays lineup is trash against lefties. I'm just saying if you look at the game logs at the lefty starters they've seen, it makes a little bit of sense. I mean, they absolutely smoked Jeffrey Springs. I'm talking about 12 base runners and 6 runs in 2 innings. 2. And then 2 games before that, I mean, not 2 games before that, the lefty they saw before that was Jacob Lopez. He didn't even go 2 innings. 1 2/3, 7 runs, 7 base runners. So if you take these 2 data points out, 1 and 2, they're actually not really getting to lefties. They didn't really get to Sanchez. They didn't really get to J.P. Sears. They didn't really get to Sean Newcomb. They didn't get to Kikuchi. They didn't get to Tyler. So I know you look at the Blue Jays numbers against lefties, and you're like, oh my God, as Legeza calls it, get caught with your nose in the spreadsheet. You look and you get caught with your nose in the spreadsheet. Blue Jays are red hot against lefties, but when you actually, to quote Legeza again, pop the hood, when you actually pop the hood, I don't know if they're hitting lefties like that. So I think Luzardo should deal. Toast, what about Bassett against the Phillies? That's where I'm a little hung up.
I'm going to be on Phillies money line, -121. So I did pop the hood just a little bit on this Blue Jays offense. And going back to, if you take away that A's series where they just went ballistic against an A's team that just can't get out of their own way, if it's the date is, let me look, it is May 13th. They've scored 4 runs 4 times. So it's not like this offense is just like killing the baseball. That's righties and lefties at home and away. But my point is, if you take out that A series, this Toronto team really hasn't been doing anything at all. Obviously the Phillies burnt me today. They didn't do anything offensively, but I will say I'm not really a fan of Chris Bassett in general. I know that he had a couple good starts against Tampa Bay and San Diego, 2 lifeless offenses, but when he's seen teams with the pulse like Oakland, I mean, offensively, Oakland has a pulse. They just can't pitch. He got slaughtered by Tampa Bay on the road. He got slaughtered on the road and at home by Cleveland and LA. But my point, more than that, is that he can really struggle versus lefty bats. And this Phillies team can not only is a top 10 offense on the road so far this season, they also have a bunch of lefties with Hopper, Schwarber, Kepler, Marsh. So I do think there's especially multiple avenues for the Phillies to score here today. And then as far as Luzardo's concerned, like I just pointed out, I'm not really worried about the Blue Jays offense. I do think that he can hit well. I know that it's really going to be daunting when you look at his splits this season, and he's dominant versus lefties, not nearly as dominant versus righties. And you're going to have 7 righties in that lineup tomorrow, maybe 8 for Toronto. I don't really worry about the bottom half of that lineup as much. Barger, who's been one of those guys that he's the guy that everybody made fun of me last year because he's big and muscular, and I was talking about how big he was and he's got long hair. He's been absolutely on fire this year, but he's a lefty, so I think that he can be neutralized. And then everybody else from Clement to Schneider to Straw to Jimenez really doesn't bother me as much. I think that Luzardo should be able to hold his own weight there. So I fully expect Luzardo to go 6 or 7, maybe give up 1 or 2 runs here, and then hand it off to a bullpen that, a lot of these guys were used today, but it's the same thing with Toronto. I think the bullpens are kind of a wash. So, I bet the Phillies on the money line. It is what we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think they're so close, maybe -130 or north. So it would definitely be Phillies for me as well. I would like to know if the roof's open, and we did get a verdict on the weather. The problem is it doesn't help either of us. I said 7 miles an hour. Trevor said 14. He said,
I said 11.5.
You did not say 11.5.
I said 14. I said 14 on RotoWare.
All right, go ahead, Trevor. I like.
No. What's the weather verdict?
No, I didn't see it. What?
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
What is your pick, yo?
All right. Now I've been completely right when I say fade my whatever I like in this game. For both games of this series, absolutely easy. I like Toronto tomorrow. Lefties. I think everybody's going to like Luzardo at this cheap price. He just got shelled. He's got to come back and do fine. But you went over it. Yes, maybe they're not putting up gaudy numbers, but they're still got great numbers versus lefties. You got getaway day. I think Toronto really shows up and shows out here tomorrow. Not to mention they still have everybody in the bullpen. Yes, Phillies will too. I know Kirk, Ringstrom, Banks, and Romano went. Romano, what a guy, blew that game today. But he threw 20. I mean, otherwise, like, everybody should be available for both bullpens. But I like Toronto with the plus money at home here against a lefty. I just think it's such a cheap price for Philly. Everybody loves Philly, and you're going to get a very, very affordable price. So I would pick Toronto. So that means go out and bet Phillies -1.5.
Well, I to be honest, the bet I think I'm circling that I actually might place right now is Phillies' first 5 run line, because I think when we get into the late innings, it becomes more of a coin flip with the Phillies bullpen, but I can get a +110 Phillies first 5.
I was
minus
looking at
the
that
head.
too.
Yeah.
I haven't bet the Phillies yet.
Because the late innings, dude, the Phillies bullpen I don't like at all, and Toronto was able to win the game late, so they didn't use up their bullpen to win this one. They used Hoffman, I think. And so rather than you can get a -118 with the Phillies. It's a super short.
I was going to say I might just do -120 and call it a day on the first 5 money line and not. Yeah, I do think that they get to Bassett. So
yeah, all right. I'm betting that first 5 run line on FanDuel. It's a +112 available. So I'll put it up on the screen in a second. Let me just get the bet down.
Yeah, so stick to the first 5 for me as well. I guess that's you're probably right on that. I just feel like Romano's not going to blow it 2 days in a row, but he very well could.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just Romano though.
No,
like,
I know.
Strom could blow it.
I know.
All right, got it. +112. I'm in. One second, let me share it with the group.
Was muted. 6-0 Mets. Alonzo Nuke.
Oh yeah, 6-0 Mets.
Shout out the Dodgers for being just scumbags and not being able to do anything offensively.
All right, I'm in, and let me just type it onto the screen so everyone could see. So I'm putting this on the screen. This is what I actually placed. So I'm actually in on this. Boom. Phillies first 5 run line +112. I think Luzardo should be fine. And like Toast was talking about, but in case you need to put visuals to it, right here, Bassett against lefties. And that's not new. That dates back multiple years. He struggles with lefty bats. You got Bryce Harper. You got Schwarber. 378 Wobble, 164 whip. You also got Stott in there. They got some lefties in that lineup. Bassett, last 2 starts, struggled in this ballpark against the A's. Got hit up by the Rays, too. So hasn't even looked all that great. I think the Phillies are able to scrape a couple across against Bassett and just be winning the game after 5 innings.
I also wouldn't hate if you guys, as far as props are concerned, Trey Turner over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. It's going to be -140, but 9 for 4 in his career off of Bassett, and he's going to have those guys behind you. And especially Schwarber tomorrow, who's 7 for 16 off of him with 2 dingers, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs. That's a 1.382 OPS against him. So, I like the Phillies.
Bro, Alonso hit that like 450
441,
feet.
yeah.
Did you see Freeman just turn around?
Yeah,
and just
Freeman was
stare
like,
at it?
So this one, there's no line open. It's Bailey Ober, but Jack Perkins is unconfirmed. So we don't know who's going to be pitching for the A's, so we'll skip it. Baltimore, Seattle.
To be honest with
It's
you guys,
easy.
it doesn't matter.
fade
I was going to say, if God himself came back and pitched for Oakland tomorrow, I would still be on the Twins regardless. So, just for the record.
Actually, just getting breaking news. God is getting the nod. He'll be on the bump for He called up from the AA squad.
Yo, he works in mysterious ways, you know?
So, Baltimore on the road in Seattle. Brian Wu getting the start against Baltimore's got some lefties. Now, I will say that I might be beating a dead gift horse beating a dead horse when it comes to Brian Wu against lefties. That's kind of an old trend that I should probably let die. But I'll never unsee when Brian Wu first come into the majors how bad he was against lefty bats. Now, he is still way better against righties. So, like, the splits still exist right here. So, like, he does still struggle with lefties. 292 WOBA, 419 xFIP compared to these numbers against righties. So, he does still struggle with lefties, but it's not nearly as bad as I make it sound. I kind of say it tongue-in-cheek now. But Baltimore most definitely has lefties. So, what's the weather here? I mean, it's Seattle, so I would imagine it's awful.
Blowing in from left field about 7 miles an hour, 65 degrees, sunny.
Oh, Jonesy, what do you think about this one?
Baltimore? I mean, Seattle sucks. Like, they're just struggling right now mightily. And Baltimore, yes, they didn't look great tonight. They were up 3-2. I don't know if they blew that game or not.
They won.
They won? All right, yeah. It would be Baltimore again. I just don't trust the Seattle offense right now, like, especially at home now. I get it's a day game, but you got wind blowing in. I believe it is a day. Yeah, 340. Wind blowing in left field. They can't hit. Baltimore's offense has really come to life as of late. And Wu against lefties, he had, like Sauce was saying, at home this year, 255 average, 286 on base, but a 511 slug. He's pitched 12 innings at home. He's given up 3 home runs. And it was 6 extra base hits, 5 earned. I mean, he's not looked great, and I just kind of trust Baltimore right now more than anything. I mean, Cal Raleigh could hit a big ding dong, and they're still going to blow this game and lose this game. So, give me Baltimore at a ridiculous price.
Yeah, I will say, Baltimore, despite winning back-to-back games, in fact, despite winning, is it 5 in a row now? For Baltimore?
I couldn't tell you the exact.
Let me see. Yeah, it's 5 games in a row. Check this out. So the Orioles have won 5 games in a row. All 5 of those games, here's the margin of victory: 1, 2, 1, 4, 1. So 5 wins in a row, all close games. So what should that mean? Their bullpen's cooked, right? When you win a bunch of close games in a row, you're struggling with bullpen arms. Weird part is they're actually not. Their bullpen's in pretty good shape here. I'll pull it up on the screen. So a little bit Baltimore playing some good baseball, some efficient baseball, saving the bullpen arms with these wins. You can see back here there was a little bit of a problem, but right now, I mean, you're probably not going to have Batista, but other than that, Baker, Cano, Aiken, Dominguez, all these guys are going to be available. So even the Baltimore bullpen is in pretty good shape here. I don't really see a case for Seattle at -171. I can understand if you're passing on Baltimore, but I don't really see a case for Seattle at this number. What do you think, Toast?
I have played Baltimore first 5 team total over 1.5 -120. Don't want to deal with the Baltimore pitching staff, but you mentioned it. Brian Wu versus lefties is always going to be an issue until he tells me or shows me that it's not. And he really hasn't been like particularly sharp. I mean, he's had a couple of really good outings, but he's also had a lot of mediocre outings so far this year. And on top of that, I mean, the Orioles are just absolutely hitting every right-handed starter they're possibly facing. I mean, going back to the 24th of May, I mean, they've hit this number on every single starter except for Lucas Giolito. So how does that happen? I have no idea how they don't hit Giolito. But besides that, I just have a hard time believing their bats are just going to go ice cold. So again, obviously I'm ice cold myself, so we'll see what happens. But I do think that this number is a little bit low, being 1.5 in the first 5. So I'll definitely take my chances at -120. I don't hate a first 5 over 4 either. I know it's -120.
I said I don't really understand what they're doing with the totals in this series. I mean, it was 7.5, it was 8.5, and I said that's too high. It'd be under here. Now it's 7.5. Like they're moving in a whole run because of Brian Wu.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't trust Brian Wu.
What about a Baltimore team total over? What can I get that at?
Full game?
Yeah. Could I get a 2.5, like -140?
No. 3.5.
DraftKings, yeah.
3.5. They're going to get all 9 at bats. With Seattle's bullpen situation, they used a couple arms, but they should be good. Yeah, they're going to have. It is Brian Wu in the Mariners bullpen that's pretty good. I guess I'll just put up an over. It'll be over or pass for me here. I can't really figure out where I want to pull the trigger. But I think, like I said last night, it was 8.5 in this game. I said under. This should be a flat 8. Now it's 7.5. I'm saying over. This should be a flat 8. So both times I think that the total's a little bit off. I would go over here because, again, I think this should be a flat 8. But all right, let's move on.
Also, I was kind of like digging in a bit, looking how Baltimore scores. They're significantly better in the first 5 innings than they are in the last 9, which it does. I know that might sound weird, but it's very true. Especially the first 3 innings, Baltimore's one of the best teams in baseball scoring in the first 3 innings.
Sports scientist Jacob saying it is a flat 8. No, I still see most
7.5.
I mean, it does look like. No, I see mostly 7.5s out there. Maybe somewhere has 8, but for the most part, it's 7.5. Padres on the road in San Francisco. Man, why didn't I bet this over? I liked it. I picked it on the show.
I told you.
I know.
Told you it was a lock.
So yeah, the over hit. Now we got Dylan Cease versus Robbie Ray in San Francisco. Have we seen enough where the whole quote unquote Giants score runs at home thing, is that just dead bullshit? Because they've been home for 3 games now. I cut them some slack on the first one. It was a crazy travel spot. 1 game, okay, but now we're talking about 3 games at home. They did score runs tonight, but is that the rejuvenation of the Giants at home? Do you think the Giants get to Cease? How about that?
I think the Giants have a better chance of getting to Cease than the Padres do to getting to Robbie Ray. Does that answer?
So minus 125, you slamming it?
It would be first 5 for me or pass. I'm just not a fan of this Giants bullpen in general. But I just think that you have to try to continue to play on Robbie Ray. I tried to get cute once. Didn't really work out for me in Washington. Definitely not going to try to do it again. I know he had another start in Miami, but regardless of this over that hit and the Padres scoring a couple runs, this offense is still not in a position that they can be trusted. I mean, they haven't scored more than 2 runs off a left-handed starter since the beginning of May against Andrew Heaney. And besides that, it's been extremely bad, even going back before that. So for me, I really have a hard time believing that San Diego touches Robbie Ray, unless Robbie Ray just has an absolute Robbie Ray blow-up situation. I understand as far as the pitch mix is concerned that the Padres hit sliders and stuff like that. I really don't think that matters. Personally, I think that Robbie Ray's on like a mission right now. And until we see otherwise, I mean, not only is he pitching well, he's going 6-7 innings every time he goes out there. So it's not like he's, full force for 3 or 4 innings and then he's getting pulled like he once did earlier in the season. Now he's like becoming a full starter, the Robbie Ray that we once all knew and loved. So, and as far as Cease is concerned, I just am not a fan of his. Like, I'm just really not a big fan of his. He's so feast or famine with him. He can go out there and he can look so good for 7 innings, and then he can just come out of nowhere, like against the Pirates, and it's 4 2/3, 7 hits and 3 runs. I mean, all the peripherals and stuff usually look good for Dylan Cease. It's just a matter of, do you trust it? So I know that this Giants offense really hasn't looked great, but I do think that they got a little bit of a kick tonight, scoring some runs. And if you're getting them in Robbie Ray at home at minus 120 in the first 5 tomorrow, that's how I would play it. So I haven't done a full dive on the bullpens after tonight.
I have it right here. I'll bring it up.
Unless something's crazy in the bullpens, it would be San Francisco.
I think it's the opposite of crazy. I think the Giants bullpen is actually in decent shape to where I'm down to play the Giants on the full game. So you're not going to have Tyler Rogers. That's a certainty. Other than that, I mean, maybe no Ryan Walker, but you should have Doval. He had the day off. You're going to have Eric Miller. Those are 2 of their favorite arms. So, I mean, they're not completely deep in the bullpen, but if Robbie Ray is able to get through 6, they should be fine. You're going to see Randy Rodriguez, Eric Miller, Doval. So they need Robbie Ray to get through 6. Now, obviously, when you're playing with a thin bullpen, did you see what I just did there? They need Robbie Ray to get through 6, and if they do, they'll use Miller, Rodriguez, Doval. So that makes perfect sense, right? Robbie Ray pitches 6, and there's their 3 arms. But in that scenario, the Giants are winning the game. If they're not winning the game, obviously they're not going to use Doval. So when you're dealing with a thin bullpen, you kind of need the game to go exactly the way you envision it, or else you could start seeing some of these gentlemen down here who maybe might not be quite as reliable. So having a thin bullpen does matter. I think there's enough here. There's enough available arms, and I think there's enough showing that Robbie Ray should pitch fine against the Padres to go ahead and take the full game. What do you think, Trev?
Yeah, I already played Giants full game money line too. Robbie Ray, damn good, and lefties versus Padres have been pretty damn good. Now take out Kyle Harrison's 5 earned tonight. You got the Pirates, you got Miami, the Angels, like with Kikuchi, Weathers, Falter, Haney, all those guys. 2-0-0, 1-2-1-0, 4 against Andrew Haney back in May 4th, and other than that, 1-2-2-0. And then the first 6 games of the season.
I'm in. I'm in.
Yep, let's do it. I already bet it. So Giants up, Robbie Ray masterclass tomorrow. Gonna look damn good.
Let's see the best number I can get right now. Minus 118. Let's go. I bet you that closes at minus 130.
I did grab minus
Where'd you get
124 earlier.
118
It
at?
went down.
FanDuel. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's still there.
I was gonna say I don't see that.
No, it's still there. FanDuel. Just got it now. Let me just share it with the group real quick. I'm in, though, at the Giants on minus 118.
God, the Dodgers are such a joke of an organization.
Dude, I'm on the over. They're not scoring shit tonight.
Nope, Mets are going to put up 6, and we can't get fucking over 9.5.
Well, the Mets will probably score 2 in the 9th too to make it 8.
To just add insult. All right, I'm in on the Giants.
I hope Tanner Banks comes out again for no reason at all, but
next up. Oh, speak of the devil. It's Grimace. Obviously, this game is still going on, so we do need to take a look at what arms we're dealing with here. But in terms of the starting pitching, it's Peterson and Knack. Is Dodgers versus lefties? Is that still a thing? I feel like I don't even know this team anymore. Like the Dodgers, I don't even get them anymore.
I was gonna say I would assume they're still very good as far as the numbers are going to tell you.
Here,
but-
I'll pull it up right here.
1-6-2-2, 1-4-1 in their last 6 or 7.
In the last 14 days, they actually dropped back to 20th. But when you're talking about numbers against left-handed pitching, 14 days, I mean, sometimes that could be 30 at-bats. It's like you have to actually go down here and take a look at the actual lefty arms they've seen. They got to Max Fried. Wow, David Peterson pitched almost 8 innings. They just saw him, though. Don't like that. All those veteran hitters on the Dodgers just saw Peterson. Do not like that at all. If it was a younger team, okay, maybe they could get fooled by a good pitcher twice, but a veteran team of superstars seeing the same arm again, That's a no-no. I think the Dodgers smoke them. You got wind blowing out. What do you guys think?
I agree with that. I think the Dodgers smoke them as well. I'm not worried about the Dodgers versus lefties. I mean, you can go down that list, and they've also put up a lot of runs on some pretty good lefties as well, including Max Fried, Matthew Boyd, Imanaga, Tyler Anderson, Eduardo. I guess Rodriguez is terrible, but they've definitely put up some runs. And the fact that they just saw Peterson, I do think helps a lot. And I'm going to continue to say that I trust Landon Knack. I've gotten a little bit of heat from it, and it's kind of warranted at times. But I mean, again, after that start in Washington, after he's kind of got his feet wet, he's been pretty damn good. He had one bad start against the A's, but besides that, I mean, Miami, Colorado, the Yankees, and the Mets. I mean, he's been pretty damn good. So obviously, the Mets just saw him as well, just like David Peterson. So I guess you can cross that out as far as those two are concerned. But I do trust London Knack. So this Dodgers team has just not been the same lately. I mean, they're literally just a 500 team, 5-5 their last 10, 10-10 their last 20. Obviously tonight that would push that to a little bit under 500, obviously. But I do like this spot for LA. I do trust Knack, and I do trust the bats to get to Peterson. So I haven't bet this or anything yet, but it would only be the Dodgers or pass for me. The Mets go to Colorado the next game and whatnot, so there's not really too much to go on off of that. But
yeah, Knack's been good, man. We watched him pitch live. He was excellent.
Yeah, fantastic. Really, it was only that Pete Alonso home run, and that was pretty much it, right?
That was it
that I can think of. Yeah, that was it.
And that home run, I mean, that was only one earned run because the only reason Soto was on base was Mookie Betts botched that play at shortstop.
Yep.
So it should have only been one run that he let up against the Mets. Yeah, Dodgers are past, but I guess the fact that the Mets just saw Knack scares me a little bit. What do you think, Jonesy?
Mets money line. Absolutely no faith in this Dodgers team right now. They can't hit lefties. Yes, they blew up Fried for 6.
I was going to say, what are you talking about?
They blew up Fried for 6, but other than that, it has not looked amazing. You got 1 off Ryan Yarbrough, 2 off Kyle Allard, 2 off David Peterson, 1 off Kikuchi. Tyler Anderson gave up 4. You got 1 off Jeffrey Springs through 7 freaking innings. They have not looked sharp versus lefties. Dodgers affordable price. Everyone's going to back them. I think the Mets are just playing better. And would you want to take 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers? Absolutely.
They want to win. That was your reason. They want to win.
Well, obviously, everybody wants to win, but it's the Dodgers. There's always a little bit of extra juice flowing for these.
The Dodgers are playing the team they played an NLCS rematch. They want to win too. Are you implying only the Mets want to win? I get it. No, it makes sense.
The Dodgers don't give a shit. They're like, okay, postseason. They're like the Patriots. Like, yeah, just get to the postseason. Yeah, we'll keep winning games when we get to the postseason. They're having a slump. We just saw the Dodgers get swept by the Angels. Why can't they lose 3 out of 4 at home against the Mets? Mets are a much better team than the Angels, too. Give me the Mets money line.
The other thing that I forgot, it has nothing to do with Trevor being on the other side, is that Knack really, really good against lefties, not so good against righties. Obviously, that Mets lineup is heavy lefty sided. So that was another reason that I thought Knack could pitch well tomorrow. Lucky for Trevor, I lose a lot.
Yeah, I've been right there with you the last 2 weeks, man. It's been disgusting.
Next up, Astros Pirates. Why didn't I bet Pittsburgh? I would have got a plus 120 that closed at plus 105. No sweat
because
win.
We both agreed it wasn't worth the money.
But it was worth the money.
You're the one that was like, no, we can't do it. Can't play this price. It's not enough.
Because I'm a bona fide coward.
Could always be me.
Jonesy, what do you think about Mitch?
Sniped the shit out of this game. I got a first 5 under 4.5 in this game when this line dropped. Bam.
Wait, you got what's it at now?
It's not available. It's 4s everywhere.
So first 5.
Sniper.
I know.
All right, go ahead.
First 5 under 4. I don't mind 4. I paid 140 for 4.5. So again, I mean, obviously I'm paying for it, but it's just pretty simple for me. You have Mitch Keller, who again I've been pounding the table for, that continues to pitch really, really well, that nobody wants to talk about. I gave up 3 runs against the Padres. That was kind of his worst outing in a month, pretty much. You had to go all the way back to St. Louis, where he went 6 innings and gave up 3 runs to have a worse start than that. And like I've mentioned many times, I watched that start. His defense let him down. 2 of those runs had nothing to do with Mitch Keller. On top of the fact, Mitch Keller, very, very good against righty bats. What do we know about Houston? A whole bunch of righty bats. I think 8 of them in the lineup, most likely tomorrow as well. And then we have Framber, who has been decent, but at the same time, this Pirates team can't hit lefties to save their life. I understand that they've been so much better in the last couple of weeks because they got some runs off of Suarez and Peterson. But as a whole, this team really doesn't scare me versus lefties. So even if they were to get a couple here, I have a hard time believing we see 5 total runs in the first 5 innings. So first 5 under 4 or 4.5.
Kind of tough to argue with that. Jonesy, what do you think?
Yeah, Framber under 1.5 earned runs. It's minus 105. Toast one already went over it. Pirates versus lefties. No bueno. No thank you. Team's atrocious. Framber's going to absolutely shove. Ground ball pitcher too. Just set it and forget it when it comes to the Pirates versus lefties.
First 5 under, you said?
No, Framber under 1.5 earned.
Bender says, "Dear Mitch, if you're holding this letter, you already know. The house has been boarded up. The doors, the windows, everything. We're at the Comfort Inn." Oh man, that's old school. You finally watched it?
Yes, I did. Right as he said, I was like, "Oh yeah, I just saw that movie." Yeah, that was a good one. You're my boy, Blue.
Blue, there's no ice in my lemonade. Get down and give me 10. He's like,
dude, you just took one to the jugular.
That scene when the girl's talking to him and he's like he's like embarrassed and she's like, "I heard you're in a fraternity," and he's like, "Oh, it's more of just a men's club. We don't really take it that seriously." And Blue, there's no ice in my lemonade. Get down and give me 10. So what's under earned runs? You said?
Yeah, under 1.5 earned minus 105. Or when the two dudes show up with the hey, they didn't have the big tubes of KY jelly. we had to get the small tube.
Oh my god! Like right in front of her, right?
Yeah, at his work. Right in his office.
That's funny shit. So I kind of want to bet the Pirates, but I can't. If they lost today, I think I would. But the fact that they won and they used Bednar, they also used Shugart, who's one of the other arm they like. I can't because they use Bednar. Pirates are pass, but I can't do it.
I'm gonna rewatch that movie.
I told
my
you.
wife's next to me, my wife's next to me. She's like, I have a wife and kids. Do you think I'm happy, Frank?
Look at the baby. Look at the baby.
Look at the baby. Look at the baby.
Look at her judging.
It hits home too bad. Oh.
That's funny. All right, Cubs on the road against Washington. Someone goes, "We're going to the quad," and then into the gymnasium.
I just wanted to be the first to congratulate you for one vagina the rest of your life. Wait to think that out.
Cubs on the road in DC here. Beautiful weather. It's number 1 in run index, plus 13%. It's run scoring weather here.
Not for the Nats. Can't do diddly poo.
You just took their team total over.
And they got blanked.
So now you're like, okay, they're the worst lineup in baseball.
No, they ended up winning. No, they ended up winning, of
I was
course.
gonna say, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry. It was a perfect game for what? Or a no-hitter till like the 7th?
I like that. I like the Nats to score in this game. Just saying.
So I have no idea.
What do you think, Jonesy?
You guys can juggle this one out.
Yeah, I like the over in this one.
Me too.
You got Jake Irvin. Been good. He's been awesome. Let me pull up his numbers again. I just had him. He's been fine, but he still gives it up. I know the Cubs just got blanked today. Hate to see it. Brewers win in an absolute just dominating fashion, and the Cubs get blanked. So it's just poetic. We're coming for that Central, and then you got the Nats offense versus a righty, absolutely really really good, and like you said, over weather here with the weather here. Not to mention, like you said, the Cubs got blanked, and then Colin Rea has, he still gives up runs, and the Cubs offense, I will say it, they're all right. They're all right. They can put up some runs. I think both teams will do their job. Today Cubs had bases loaded first inning, got nothing. I knew the over was absolutely cooked after that. But I'm gonna run right back to it tomorrow in this situation with both of these offenses and pitchers taking the bump here.
Yeah, remember the reason that I was hesitant to back of the Cubs yesterday was the Nats had a lefty on the mound, and not just a lefty, a good lefty. And the Cubs against lefties is something I'm a little hesitant about right now. They've been struggling to get to lefty starters kind of for a while now. It's kind of flying under the radar. The Cubs aren't really hitting lefty starters. That being said, the righty starters have not been a problem for the Cubs. They're getting to righty starters just fine. And although I kind of am a fan of Jake Irvin,
Especially at home.
yeah, I mean, I think Jake Irvin's solid. He actually always pitches well against the Mets. He kills us. But he does struggle against lefty bats. The Cubs have some dangerous lefties. And like I said, when you look at the Cubs numbers against righty starters, it's no problem. They're getting to everyone they see. Now, there are some really bad names on this list, but they got to Hunter Green, too. So I trust the Cubs in this beautiful weather to hit off Jake Irvin. And on the other side, Toast wants to talk shit about the Nats bats, and I get it. This is a lineup that can hit righties. It's a top 10 lineup against righties. Colin Rea. It is Colin Rea, right?
Yeah, Pomerantz is going to open for Rea.
Right, okay. So Colin Rea struggles against lefty bats. The Nats are loaded with lefties. Runs. I might even bet this 9.5. Did the Nats use their bullpen too?
I don't know. In all seriousness, guys, it would be first 5 under for me. I'm not going to play it, but I think you're going to get a high 5. Jake Irvin's just been really good at home this year. Home starts against Philly, Arizona, the Dodgers, the Mets, Cleveland, San Francisco. He's given up a couple runs like to the Dodgers and Arizona, the upper echelon teams. And the Cubs are upper echelon as well. But I have to see Jake Irvin give up some runs before I trust that over 9.5 in a game like this. So it would be first 5 under or pass for me.
And
Strong disagree.
Nats used Brad Lord and Finnegan today, so no Finnegan tomorrow. Maybe actually potentially Finnegan, but still was used today through 18.
All right, let's move on. Cleveland against the Yankees. What the hell, man? We had the over in this one. Guardians scored 3 runs in the top of the first. I'm sitting here like, the whole idea was if Cleveland gets the 3 runs, I think we're good. Well, We weren't good because no one did shit after that. And the Yankees specifically did absolutely nothing in the game. Where is S-Dot? To answer for this. Toast, what do you think about Ciccone on the road in Yankee Stadium?
It would be Yankees -1.5 or pass at -125 for me. You're getting Max Fried in a bounce back situation. Again, the only reason that I haven't played it yet is because, I mean, it seems like this is a pretty clear-cut situation. You have a Cleveland team that can't really hit left-handed pitching at all to save their life, and I do mean at all. If you can go ahead and bring the game logs up against lefty starters, albeit they've faced some very good lefties. Max Fried is one of the best lefties in the game so far this year as well. So Slade should get absolutely destroyed if the Yankees have any pride in themselves at this point. So the Yankees have also seen a lot of good righty starters over the last couple of weeks. Bybee, Yamamoto, London Knack, Tony Gonsolin. I mean, obviously Tony Gonsolin's not really looking good right now, but I mean, they've destroyed the righty starters that they've seen. So I think this is a great spot for the Yankees to bounce back and win easily here, but I don't know if I actually end up playing it. But if you can make a case for Cleveland, I'd love to hear it. Besides on the number,
I think I'm going to bet this Yankees -1.5. It's, I mean, beautiful weather. The Yankees coming off a game at home where they got blanked. Max Fried should. I'll pull up the Cleveland game logs against lefty starters. It almost looks like a troll post. Like it's almost like, did someone hijack my spreadsheets? There's no way it's this bad. No, it is this bad. Here are the lefty starters that have pitched against Cleveland. 7 innings, 1 run. 9 complete game shutout. 5 shutout innings. 7 shutout innings. 7 shutout innings. 7 2/3. Pitches into the 8th inning, just 1 run and 4 base runners here. Bubich, great game. Tyler Anderson, great game. Kyle freaking Hart pitched a great game against Cleveland. Who was president the last time the Guardians hit up a lefty starter? It's been forever. So, freaking. Yeah, I think I'm going to bet this, honestly. It's a beautiful spot for the Yankees.
I just sent it into my own.
Wait, hold on. The only deciding factor, the Cleveland used Clase and shit tonight. Now they'll still be available. Yeah, so the Yankees got to see Clase, Gaddis tonight. Yeah, I'll do this. What do you think, Trevor?
Don't you worry about Devin Williams coming in the 9th with his 10.
I'm worried about every bet that I make, Trevor, so it's all good.
Touche, I'm with you. Max Fried under 1.5 earned runs, +105. Max Fried to record the win, -125. I'm with you guys. I think the Yankees absolutely smoke them. And then Cleveland, again, you just went over the numbers. They can't fucking hit a lefty if their life depended on it or if it was put on a tee. They're struggling mightily. Granted, the weather is decent in New York tomorrow for scoring some runs here. We got wind blowing out to left field, 8 miles an hour and 85 degrees. But in order for Cleveland to hit home runs or put balls in play to score some runs, you got to hit the ball, and they can't do that. They can't get on base. Fried, absolute bounce back after that last game at the Dodgers. 5 innings, 6 earned, 2 homers, only 3 strikeouts, 8 hits. I think he bounces back big time in this one against a team where he should have no problem doing so. So Fried under 1.5 earned runs, +105, and record the win, -125.
1.5 and to record the win?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to bet the under earned runs, but I've been debating if I want to play the record win too. But just knowing that Devin Williams is lingering in that bullpen to come close the game with his 10 ERA in the 9th inning kind of scares me.
Lingering, that's a strong word.
Oh, I saw a stat, they popped it up, and it was like his ERA, 9th inning or later, 10.03. 8th inning or earlier, 2.53. Like, it's crazy. He cannot handle the pressure in New York.
All right, let's move on.
They even let him grow his beard back. Didn't help.
They changed their entire fucking rule to get Devin Williams. And he's like, I got you. Here we go. Here's my 10 ERA. Hope you guys like it.
That rule makes no freaking sense anyway.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't. But it'd been there forever.
I respect that they've kept it, but
no, there's nothing to respect about it. Yankees fans don't even respect it. I live here. They're like, Rangers. The only Yankees fans that like that rule are like, give or take 78 years old. Rangers.
Do you hate the no name on the back too?
Stupid. So stupid. This is a team. This is a team. That's why we signed this guy for $600 million, because it's a team. Put his freaking name on the jersey. Rangers on the road. So I bet this one. I don't think you guys should tail me though.
Would you? I already bet it too. So Hopefully you're on the other side so you win.
Rangers.
Did you go full game?
Yeah.
Oh, I just did first 5. I just did first 5, so we're on the same type of situation. I did Rangers first 5. I don't want to deal with their bullpen. I want Leiter versus
I
Pepe
want the
Peter.
bullpen, man. That's when I like the matchup.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So you're much sharper than I am. There's not a chance in hell.
Well, no arguments there.
No chance in hell that Texas bullpen gets my money. No chance in hell. But I do think this is a decent spot for Pepe Le Pew to give up some runs. I know that he hasn't given up a run in 2 straight starts, but let's not pretend that he's that good at all. Not to mention the fact that I think the Rangers showed some life today as well. Obviously, they didn't end up winning. Excuse me, they didn't end up winning, but they scored some runs late. And I'm going to continue to stand on the hill that I think Jack Leiter is a very good pitcher in this league. Did he have a couple blow-ups so far this year? Yes, absolutely. But his last 3 starts have been pretty damn good. 7 innings at home against Houston, 3 runs. 5 innings on the road against the White Sox, 2 runs. It was a walk issue that really got him there. And then at home against St. Louis, who's a very, very good team versus right-handed pitching, no runs. So he hasn't really been terrible on the road. Either, again, 1 blow-up start in Boston, if you want to call it that, but again, aided by walks. I don't think he's going to have that walk issue tomorrow. On top of the fact that, this Rays team, I don't trust their bats. I'm going to continue to say that. I know that they've been hot the last couple weeks. Well aware of that. Still don't think they're going to be capable of putting up those numbers for a consistent amount of time. So I'll take my chances with the Rangers in the first 5. Like I said, I want absolutely nothing to do with the Rangers bullpen. I don't care if they've been rested for a week.
Yeah, like I said, I was hesitant when I was going to place the bet. I got a plus 125, and I was sitting there thinking, because the line had just opened, because I bet it when they were closing out the game. And the reason I bet it was I was looking at the Rays bullpen here. Here's the thing. It's not even that bad. You're not going to have Fairbanks, most likely. Back-to-back days, 18 pitches. Most likely no Ucheta. Most likely no Montgomery. That is 3 of their major arms. That being said, if it goes into the late innings and they need to close it out, I mean, they're going to have Manuel Rodriguez and Clevenger, 2 guys that have been okay for them. So it's not like they have no bullpen. That's what I'm saying. It's not completely terrible, but they are.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Fairbanks.
I think. I wouldn't be surprised either. So the bullpen isn't even in that bad shape, but Jack Leiter's been pretty damn good. 3 of his last 4 starts have been excellent. He had 1 bad start against the White Sox. Other than that, I mean, he's been pitching really well. I'm a little worried that his better starts seem to be at home. And his starts on the road haven't been that good. And now on the road to Tampa, I'm a little worried there. This is more this is an ugly one. I completely understand if you don't like this one, but I'm on the Rangers. Jonesy?
Yeah, it'd just be Rays again. I mean, I know the bullpen with Ucheta and Fairbanks potentially and Montgomery are used up, but I don't trust Texas. Cool, you score 4 runs today, but they still struggle offensively. They pop up for a game or 2 and then they die. They popped up for those 2 games against the Cardinals, and other than that, they've really done a whole lot of nothing the last 2-3 weeks offensively. Just run it back with the Rays. I'm probably not going to bet this given the price. Maybe I'll bet the -1.5. I think Pepio is going to be fine. I don't think he has much to worry about. I think Tampa's going to score runs too, so maybe a Tampa team total over for this one. But no way would I want to back Texas personally. I have no faith in them or Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter's 3rd highest xFIP on the board tomorrow also. Hits, walks, he's got issues a little bit. So I'll take the hot team, one of the hotter teams in the baseball in MLB right now with the Rays.
All right. I'm going to talk about the NBA game. Guys, enjoy your night.
I also like Wyatt Langford over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Have a good night, guys.
Later.
Toodles.
All right. NBA Finals, Game 1. All right, so here's the thing. We can point at some stuff, right? We can bring some stuff up. Number one being Oklahoma City has been almost unbeatable against this type of team this year. Fast-paced offensive teams. They've been unreal against. I mean, Oklahoma City is 9-0-1 against the top 5 teams in pace. The fastest pace, that's against the spread. Against the fastest paced teams in the NBA, 9-0-1. They've never lost against the number in the regular season. Against the top 5 in pace. We know the Pacers run a fast pace. Against bad rebounding teams, 10-0-1 against the spread. And that's another thing I like for Oklahoma City is the way to beat Oklahoma City. There's not many ways to beat them, but the way to beat them is rebounding. That's their only weakness, is they're not a great rebounding team. The Pacers are not a great rebounding team either. In fact, the rebounding battle is going to be close here. So that's another area I like Oklahoma City is the Pacers are not really equipped to exploit their weakness. What the Pacers like to do, get out and run, turn the pace up. Oklahoma City is the best team in the NBA at that type of shit. Look at transition here for the Thunder. I mean, the Pacers are going to try to run the fast break on this team. This is the best fast break defense in the NBA. They're literally first in defensive efficiency in transition. They're the best fast break defense in the NBA. It's tough to envision a world where the Pacers, the way they play, is going to work against Oklahoma City. What do the Pacers do a lot of against the Knicks? They force turnovers and get out and run. We already talked about how the Oklahoma City defense against the fast break is elite, the best in the NBA. But what's another thing that's true about Oklahoma City? They don't turn the ball over at all. They're first in the in NBA in turnover rate by a mile. So the things the Pacers like to do, just Oklahoma City ain't the team you're going to do that on. You're not going to force turnovers and get out and run on Oklahoma City. They're the best in the NBA at exactly that. So I really don't like this matchup for the Pacers. As far as the model, I coming out at 13 here. Now I didn't update the EPM numbers are about 6 days behind. So Pacers probably gained a couple points. Not to mention the Pacers have been grading out low in the models. I mean, remember, the model had EPM-based models had Cleveland laying 8-9 to Indiana. They had the Knicks laying almost every game in that series. So the EPM-based models have been wrong on the Pacers this entire playoffs. And I think the Pacers they just got scorching hot at the right time. So I think we're using EPM-based data for the season to try to describe this Pacers team. That's not going to do it because the way they're playing right now and the way they've been playing the last 3-4 weeks, it's just not enough data in for that to reflect yet. So I don't think you can really look at something like this because this includes, it goes by last 5, last 10, last 20. So I do implement a little bit of recency in there, but it still has full season data in here as well. So I just think the Pacers got so hot that I don't think you could even look at that. And that makes sense because the EPM-based models have had the higher-seeded teams laying big numbers, and the line's been opening about 3 points off market. So the fact that it's sitting at 9.5 makes sense. As far as the bet, as a New York Knicks fan, what do you think about Tibbs getting fired? Oh, man. We're going to have the Tibbs talk? All right. As far as the bet, I think I could go here. Guys, it's the NBA Finals. Like I keep saying, you're not going to beat this market. These markets are going to be efficient. But if I was to bet the game, and I probably will bet it, to be honest, but just gambling, be right here. Bet on the Thunder defense, and I always like taking unders in game one. Usually the teams, especially in the first half, feeling each other out. It's a little dangerous to take an under in this series, though. These teams love to run. They love to score. But I do think the fact that Oklahoma City doesn't turn the ball over and they're a lead against the fast break, I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana struggles offensively in this game. So I think this is the way I'd go here. If Indiana is able to knock Oklahoma City off in this first one, I think it's going to be because Oklahoma City has a cold shooting night. So I think that game would be relatively low scoring. And if we see Oklahoma City ball where they put up a big number, I could see 128 108-101 where it still stays under. Like if we see an Oklahoma City blowout. So I like the under. Pacers team total under. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And as far as Thibodeau, I mean, when Thibodeau got the job, then you got to remember the Knicks were the worst team in the NBA. Like one of the worst organizations in the NBA for like 2 decades. We've always brought talent in. That's not new. The Jalen Brunson, Bridges, Towns, like that's not new. We've always brought talent here to New York. We never could make it work until Thibodeau. So Thibodeau gets the job. 4 years later, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. In my opinion, we were right on schedule, but I can't say I don't get it to some extent. Overall, I think it was the wrong decision, but I do think the Knicks Dolan feels that they have one of the best teams in the NBA talent-wise. And I will say I like Thibodeau, and I don't think he should have been fired. I think he should have been given another year. But I will say the games in that Detroit series that we lost, one of the games in the Boston series, a couple of the games in that last series against Indiana, and this is a repeating pattern here with Thibodeau. The offense goes really stale at times, and it's very reliant on Jalen Brunson being a hero or Towns begging for a foul, driving to the basket a little bit out of control, begging for a foul. So I think you do point at Thibodeau a little bit for that because he's a defensive guy. So in these big games, when we've seen the offense go stale and we've become completely reliant on Brunson or Towns like bailing us out. Now, luckily, Brunson's freaking crazy and he did bail us out a bunch. But as far as did the offense look crisp? Did the offense look prepared in these games? I think the answer is no in a lot of them. Now, at Tibbs, as a defensive coach, I will go to bat for. The Knicks defense was terrible forever, and then Thibodeau came, and all of a sudden we have a strong defense. So I'll go to bat for Thibodeau as a defensive coach, but I think we saw the ceiling offensively with Thibodeau, and in today's NBA, I'm not sure if you can consistently count on making a playoff run as a defensive-based team, especially with the talent we have. We got some talent, man. So I think the Knicks defense does take a hit without Thibodeau, but I also think the offense, depending on which direction we go, I could see the Knicks being an over team next year, just using the talents, outscoring everybody. So, yeah, I don't like the firing, but, like, I get it. How about that? All right, everyone, have yourselves a great night. Thanks for watching. Betting League, give me about a half hour. I'll have the stuff up. Hit me up if you need me. Yeah, is there anything else? No, that's it. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.